Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a full solo playthrough of Black Forest. We're going to be traveling from village to village, hiring tradespeople to help us build buildings and collect resources, and use that to expand our domain and make glass. Now, I went ahead and I got everything set up for the solo game. Pretty much just like you'd set up for a multiplayer game, except we had to flip the board over to its solo side. I've also taken all 5 character pawns, and I've gone through and I've flipped over 10 buildings to their B side at random. The tradespeople have also been randomized in the different villages, and that's pretty much it. We're ready to begin. Now, if you've played Glass Road, a lot of this is going to look similar, especially these resource wheels down here. But don't worry if you've never heard of Glass Road or you don't know how to play this. I'm going to teach it as I go, just like I always do. So let's just jump on in and get playing. In the multiplayer game, we would take our character figure and we would move around to these various different spots in these villages, traveling along these roads, paying costs as we go. In the solo game, we're actually going to place each character down one at a time, paying the travel costs between them. And when we place a character in one of these spots, we get to take one or both of the actions that are on either side of them. Once we've placed all 5 figures, then that will be the end of the round. And as you can see up there, we're going to be playing for 5 rounds. So to start off with, I think I want to go to this spot right there. At the beginning of each round, you can go anywhere for free. And we can take these 2 actions in either order. I'm going to take the one here. That is the lumberjack. And he's going to let me remove one of these forest terrain tiles from my domain in order to get 4 wood. Now here we go on my wheel. You can see I have wood right here. The numbers around this circle show how much I start with. So right now I have 3 wood. And I'm going to get 4, so I'm just going to move it over here to the left. I've now gone from 3 to 7 wood. I'm now going to do this action. That's the traveling merchant. That tile might be swapping around and moving around from village to village. You'll see that in a little bit. But for right now, we're just going to take the action, which is going to let us take 2 of any basic resource. And we have to take 2 of the same. I'm going to go ahead and take sand. So I'm going to go 1. Now, by the way, the basic resources are any of these 4 right here or these 3 over here. Glass, these provisions, and the commodity, those are advanced resources. But now look at this. Something has happened here. If you look on the wheel, you can see there are 2 numbers there that are in black. That's 0 and this 3. When both of those spaces are empty, the wheel is going to move 1 to the right. Automatically. We don't have a choice in that. Now, essentially what's happened is we've now spent 1 of each of those 4 resources in order to make 1 glass. And I just realized I should be getting another sand because I get 2, not just 1. And so now you can look here. In order to make another glass, all we need to do is to at least get 1 coal. If we did that, then this spot would be empty again. So with that, and we could move the wheel again. And this wheel over here works basically exactly the same. This is sort of the glass making wheel, and this is the cooking wheel. This is how we get provisions for our traveling around to the different villages. So there we go. That was my first action. I now get to take a second action with another one of my figures. And I could go in any spot I want to. I could go into the same village, into a different spot and take an action like that. But if I were to do that, I would have to pay 1 basic resource for every other figure that's there. So in this case, I would have to spend 1 of my basic resources to place a figure there. Unless I use my white figure. My white figure doesn't have to pay that cost. But I think I want to move over into this village over here. So we travel this road, and you can see that's going to cost 1 provision. So I have 2 provision markers here. So I really have 3 provisions. I can move whichever one I want. I'll just go ahead and move this one. And now I'll take the action of the brick maker. I have to spend 1 coal. And when I spend coal, I can take it from either wheel. Now, in this case, we have 0 coal over here, so I'll take it from the cooking wheel. And now I can get 4 brick. And our brick track is over here outside of the wheels. So boom, we've maxed out our bricks now. Bricks are very important for building buildings, which I'm going to try to do on my next turn. Okay, I'm now going to go over to the cook. Here, I can either get 1, 2, or 3 meat for 2, 4, or 6 lakes that I have on my domain. Right now, I only have 2 lakes, so I would get 1 meat. Or I can get a porridge per field. And right now, I just have 2 fields. So that could be 2 porridge. And I think that's what I want to do. So we go 1, 2. And now here we go again. We can create some provisions. And in this case, we spent a coal, a meat, and a porridge in order to get 2 provisions and 1 commodity. I say let's keep on moving here. We're going to come down over into this village. And you always go from where you last placed a figure. So we're going from the yellow figure down here. That's going to be another provision. I'll go like that. And we'll start by going to the gardener. Here we could either spend a brick in order to get another pond into our domain, or we can get a water per pond. I think I would like another pond, so I'm going to spin the brick, and I'll just place the pond right there. And now we can go to the builder, and the builder is one of the 2 places that we can go in order to build these buildings. There's a ton of them. I'm not going to go over all of them, obviously. You can see on the sides here, it shows what buildings in that row are going to give you for the most part, like what resources that building kind of deals with primarily. And in the first column, those buildings don't cost a glass. The ones in the middle column cost 1 glass, along with some other things. In the last column there, those cost 2 glass plus some other things. And then over here, we have 4 larger buildings that each cost 3 glass and some other things. The costs are specified there on the left. And then in the middle, you have a bunch of different special abilities. Some are conversions that you can do at any time on your turn. Some are one-time rewards. Some are, victory points at the end of the game. Some are special abilities that you have throughout the game. The building I'm interested in acquiring is this guy right here, the potash manufacturer. This is going to cost 1 glass, so I'll move my 1 glass over, and 4 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can now place it on an empty space in my domain. You can see it's going to be worth 2 points at the end of the game, and this says that I can remove the coal marker from my glass making wheel. So this permanently, for the rest of the game, goes away. And you can see here immediately, that's going to trigger the making of a glass. This is going to make it so much easier for us to make glass throughout the game. So I think this is going to be very valuable for us. Okay, there we go. The red figure is done. We have 2 more figures left. Now I'm going to do something that you can do at the beginning of each of your turns. I'm going to spend a commodity in order to move the traveling merchant. I can basically swap that with any tile that I want anywhere on the board. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to use my white pawn to go right there. That means I don't have to pay the resource cost. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 sand. And in a solo game, you ignore this giving, 1 of that resource to every other player. And then here with the gardener, I think we'll take the bottom thing and we'll just get 3 water because of our 3 pawns. That's going to trigger a second glass. And because we stayed in the same village there, we didn't have to pay a provision. But now, for our last figure, we're going to move over here. So we will have to pay a provision. We'll come here first. That's the woodworker. So we will remove a forest. Gain a wood. That's going to trigger another glass. Again, you have to do that right away when it triggers. You don't have an option. And now we can do another building. And I think I want to build this storehouse. That's going to be 2 glass and 5 brick. So a ton of brick, but we're getting a bunch of different resources. 3 wood, and we can gain these in any order that we want. It's going to be 2 meat, 3 coal. That's going to trigger some cooking. And we have done our second advancement of the cooking wheel. And this token here is to remind us that now, not only do we get a basic resource of our choice, but jobs become available. So in the solo game, you draw the top 3 jobs and you put them out on the board. And they have a little indication up here in the top left of where they go. So this one is going to go right there. This one shows a particular tradesperson, okay, which is right up there. So this goes in that village. Okay, and that one's going to go over here. When we go to a village that has a job, instead of visiting the tradespeople, we can instead complete the job by spending what's in the red box, and then we'll receive everything that's on the right. In the case of this one, this is a location job, so we'd actually have to travel here to get it. I'm also getting a resource of my choice. I think I'll get sand. That will trigger another glass. And then I still have this 1 more sand that I'm getting from the storehouse. And there we go. Now that I've placed all 5 of my figures, I just collect them back. Advance to round 2. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, I think I'm jumping in right away here. I want to do another building. I want to do this cabinet painter. That's going to be 2 glass, my last brick, and my last 2 wood. But this effect I think is going to be great for us. It says whenever you gain a glass, we also get a porridge. That's fantastic. We're going to have that throughout the game. We should be making a lot of glass this game, so that should be good. Now over here, we don't have a brick, so let's just go ahead and get 3 water. Wouldn't mind getting some wood, and we also need to get some brick as well. So let's just mosey on that way. Up here, that'll cost a provision. We'll spend a coal to get 4 brick. And then over here, I could get 2 porridge or a meat. Since I'm going to get porridge over here, let's go ahead and just get 1 meat. And then let's pop in over here, pay another provision. We'll lumberjack that forest to get 4 wood. That's going to make a glass, which will also give us a porridge, which will make some provisions. And whoops, I meant to place up there because I want to get the 1 cow. Now right here, we start with a little place where we can put 2 cows. So I'll go ahead and place that cow right there. Let's go here. Pay a provision. I can get 3 sand. So I'm going to actually be making 2 glass. So that's going to be 2 porridge. Now here at the carpenter, we could either build a building or we can advance our glass hut marker up 1, which is what I want to do. I'll show you what happens when that reaches the top of the track here right now, because we're now going to come over here, spend a provision. We're going here to this furnace maker. That's going to be 3 brick. That's going to let us move this up 2. And now it's reached the top. And when that happens, we get to extend our domain with one of these. Just place it right next door. And then we move our glass hut over to this spot here. Reset the track. This will be worth 2 points at the end of the game. We also add 2 forests down here. And we've opened up a little area where we can have 2 cows. And once again, meant to go up there so I can get another cow. Okay, beautiful. That's the end of round 2. On to round 3. Okay, I think I have a little bit of a plan. Let's go right there. So first we'll go to the cook, and we'll get 1 meat. And then we'll go to the butcher, and we'll butcher this cow. Maybe I'll have them laying down. That's going to be 3 meat. Now I'll come here. The white figure doesn't have to pay, and instead of activating these tradespeople, we're going to instead do the job. That's going to cost us 5 meat, all that we have, but we're going to get so much stuff here. 5 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sand. 5 food. 3 provisions. 1, 2, 3. And 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just take this tile. We can just put it off to the side. And then when you complete a job, a new one comes out. So that's going to go right there. And look at that. 7 food. We have 7 food right now. So we could complete this job right away. That is interesting. Ooh, I think we will complete that job, just not this second. First, I'm going to use one of my commodities here, and we're going to swap those 2. Then we'll come here. That'll cost a provision. Spend a coal for 4 brick. And then it's time to build one of these large buildings. And I want to do this sand storage. You can see it takes up 2 spaces. Now we're going to have to spend 1, 2, 3 of our glass. And as you can see, 3 glass is the most that you can have at any one time. 2 brick, 2 wood, and 1 sand. And this is giving us an ability to convert 2 food into 1 sand whenever we want. And by food, I mean porridge. But at the end of the game, any sand that we have left over will be worth 1 point. So if we can max out our sand at 7, that would be 7 points at the end of the game. It's also just worth 5 points just on its own. And now that this job came up here, I'm kind of thinking this wasn't part of my original plan. But let's take this little road up here. This is a location event, so we have to travel up to that spot. That's going to cost a provision. And let's just go ahead and spend all of our 7 food, porridge, always going to say food, to get 1 glass, 1 forest, a pen. Yeah, let's put it up here. Right there. And you can see here these pens, they can hold either 3 pigs or 3 cows. And we're getting 3 pigs, so they can just go right in there. Each one of these will be worth a point at the end of the game if they stay there. And we can get another pond. Wow. Okay. Our domain here is a little filled up with stuff. Once again, we just get to keep that. New job comes out. Okay, so it would come here, but there's already a job there. So we just go around clockwise to the next village. Now, one action I haven't mentioned is begging. Because you might be wondering, like, oh, what if you run out of provisions and you can't move? Then instead, you would just place your pawn either in the middle of the village or off to the side or something, and then just take one provision. So it's something you want to try to avoid doing. It's kind of a last resort sort of a thing. Oh, by the way, when we got that glass, I should get a food because of our cabinet painter. So we're here. It would cost a provision to move over here. There's also a path leading back up there and down here. And remember, you can move multiple paths. So we could spend 2 provisions just to go up there. That's not a bad idea. I actually think I will come back down here. Because I could get so much water. I mean, let's come here. Now, we're going to have to pay a resource. Let's place sand. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get 4 water. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to immediately produce 2 glass, which is going to give me 2 porridge. And then we can build again. Now, we simply don't have much space here. Now, you can just remove ponds and fields just as a free action, but I don't want to do that. Oh, that cost me a provision, by the way, to do that. Let's see, what do I want to build? Well, this trout fishery looks pretty cool. That would give me a chance to actually remove these ponds to get stuff. Okay, I think I'm going to build this sawmill. So that's going to be 2 glass, 2 brick. Oh, wait, before I spend the glass, we're going to spend the wood. 2 wood, 2 glass, 2 brick. There we go. That's going to let me remove a forest for 3 wood whenever I want on my turn. That's almost as good as going to the lumberjack. I have a bunch of forests here. I'm actually going to do that right away. So I'm going to take one of those away, get 3 wood, and that's going to immediately trigger 1, 2 glass. So that's 2 food. All right. That is round 3 done. Now, when we get to round 4, we actually are going to take all of the tradespeople and we're going to re-put them out. We're going to sort of shuffle them up. And so I can show you how that works. When you randomize these, you only semi-randomize them. Because you can see here they have these backs on them. And so you organize them by their backs. And then you just shuffle up each group and you put them in the corresponding spots. It's that simple. Okay, and done. Ready for round 4. Okay, I'm going to spend a commodity. I'm going to go like that. And then let's go right there. For the traveling merchant, I'm going to get 2 brick. I'm going to use my sawmill. And let's get this one. That gives me 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to build this smokehouse. So that's 2 brick, 3 wood, 1 of these fields, and 3 glass. So in order to construct this, I need to have at least 3 pawns in my domain. And at the end of the game, each of my pawns will be worth an extra point. Now I'm getting a little worried about provisions. I only have 2. So we need to get some meat to get this moving. a little concerning because all the meat stuff is over here. And I don't have commodities. So I think we need to start heading in this direction. Now the other option is I could just go here and I could get meat from the merchant. Yeah, let's do that. That will get us 1, which of course every move of this actually gives us 2 provisions and a commodity. I can then remove this for 4 wood. Okay, I now think I want to move down here. So that's going to be 1, 2. I got to spend 2 commodities for that. Or provisions, not commodities. That's going to actually create another one. Let's spend our coal to get 4 more bricks. And then we get 4 sand. 2, 3, 4. I'm also going to spend 2 of my porridge to get another sand with my sand storage ability. Okay, then let's go here after that. I'm going to spend a wood. And then get a cow. And we'll put the cow in here. And now we're going to come over here. Another provision. And we're going to do this job. We have the 5 sand. We're going to get 5 food. 2 glass, which will give us some more food. Going to max out our food there. And we get 3 movement up our glass hut track. There we go. So we expand even further. Time for the last round. Okay, I had forgot to put a new job out. Go right there. Oh, wow. 5 water, and you can just get any building for free, essentially. I do like that. I really want to get that hospital built. So I think the easiest way to do that is let's spend a commodity. We'll do that little flip. We'll come here. That's going to be 4 water. Then we'll use our sand storage. 2 porridge, 4 a sand. That will give us the glass that we need. And then we can build. 2 brick, 2 wood, 2 water, 3 food, and 3 glass. And that's just 10 points, so that's pretty good. Now, we only have 2 provisions, so that's a little bit of a problem. I want to make some more glass, get some more food. I'll go ahead and I'll use my sawmill. Get 3 wood. Okay, well, I will go 1, 2 with the porridge to get a sand. That will generate a glass, which will give us 1 food back. Let's use a commodity. Let's flip those. Then let's go 1, 2 to here. That's all of our provisions, but we're going to slaughter this cow for 3 meat. And we'll use this to get 2 coal. That will move this. Then we come here. Spend a wood to get 1, 2, 3, 4 coal. Actually, do we need that? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, let's go here. So that costs 1. We'll spend a coal to get 4 bricks. And then we'll get 4 sand. That's good. Okay, I'm then gonna go here. Wood. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 more clay. And then we come back over here. That costs a provision. Wait, but before we do that... Yeah, before we do that, we spend a commodity. Swap those. Now we're getting 4 water. 1, 2, 3, 4. That produces 1 of those, which gives us a food, which turns that. I'll then use my sawmill. 3 wood. Boom. Another glass. Move that. Another movement there. And then here we'll build. Boom, we got the reservoir. 3 glass, 6 brick. And there we go. That is it. All we have left is final scoring. Okay, so the first thing we would get is 1 point per leftover glass, which we don't have any, so that's 0. We then get points based on where our cooking wheel ended up. So you can see the arrow right here. It's pointing at the 8-point marker, so we get 8 points. We then get 2 points per small estate. We have 2 of those. Those are those points right there. So that's 4. We get a point per livestock that's in a pasture. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we get our big points. We get points for each of our buildings. So that's going to be 10, 20, 36. And then we get any end of game scoring that's on our buildings. So for our sand storage, we're getting 1 point per sand. We have 5 sand. And the reservoir is giving us 1 point per water, and we have 2 water. And then our smokehouse is giving us 1 point per pond, 4 ponds. If you add that all up together, you get 63 points. And then we can look here in the rule book, and you can see down here, anything between 60 and 70 is going to be the Glass Hut Master. So there you go. That was an excellent score. That does it for me. That was a complete solo playthrough of Black Forest. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.